Well, Fantasy Fix has its own version of the West Coast attack. It's called the Pride of San Diego State. Time now for our weekly Chalk Talk with Marshall Faulk, courtesy of BodogFantasy.net. Hello, Marshall. I want to ask you first off, Matt Leinart, Kurt Warner is going to split time at quarterback for Arizona, and I want to know from you, who's going to be more efficient if the Cards continue that platoon system?
You know what? I think the both of them. And when you look at it, what you get is you get Kurt Warner, a guy that he started. He understands what it is to start, and he understands and he appreciates the opportunity to play. So he's going to continue to play well. Matt Leinart, on the other hand, he doesn't have to deal with all the pressure throughout the whole game. I think slowly they're bringing him along and they're allowing him to become the quarterback that we know he's capable of being. We saw him at USC, another level of football in the NFL, obviously, but he's shown flashes.
Hey, Marshall, Brett Favre has really struggled the last few years with inconsistency, interceptions, but he's really settled down this year, throwing the football with a lot of confidence and a lot of poise. What do you think the difference is in Favre this year?
I think that he understands now what's around him. He's accepted the fact that they are a young football team, that he can't be Brett the gunslinger. He's going to have to take his time, work his way downfield. And the best thing is, when you watch Favre play, and I think we all can appreciate this, the kids that he's playing with, his excitement and his passion for the game has become infectious, and they are playing the way he plays the game, but he's not throwing interceptions like he used to.
Well, the year after you won a Super Bowl, Trent Dilfer won one as the Ravens quarterback. So now you have to ask, can he beat his former team, filling in for Alex Smith, and not only that, but help out a sluggish Frank Gore?
You know what? He's going to help this team out because, you know, when given the practice time, coming in as a backup and playing in the game and having success is tough in NFL. Defenses are really going to come after you. They're going to blitz you because they know that you didn't get all the looks. Well, going up against Baltimore, that's a tough defense to beat. They can pull it off. Cleveland did it last week. If they can get Frank Gore going, the onus is going to be on that offensive line and protecting Trent and getting and springing Frank. But it can happen. I don't think it is, but I do think Trent's going to help this offense.
Hey, Marshall, if Marvin Harrison and Joseph Adai can't go Sunday, how much does that hamper Peyton Manning against what is shaping up to be a rock-solid Buck defense?
You know, Kenyon Keaton last week, I mean, he came in, and this guy, we didn't even know who he was. We know that they let Dominique Rose go. We knew that they had Joseph Adai, but we didn't know who the backup was. I think he's a great backup. He's a guy that they can feature. He's going to fit well in this offense. And if Marvin Harris isn't there, what that means is there'll be another guy in that position catching touchdowns. Don't get me wrong, Marvin is great, but you just won't have those stats with he and Peyton as the best receiver and quarterback tandem going down in history. You just won't have those stats. They'll plug somebody in. That someone will catch balls, will have a big game as usual.
All right, and with that, Marshall, week 5, give me your stud, your dud, and a sleeper for this week.
My stud this week is the old guy, and I said I wasn't going to use that in his name anymore, but Brett Favre going up against the Chicago Bear defense that is mangled in the secondary, and they're having problems applying pressure to the quarterback. So Favre definitely a stud here. Dud, Frank Gore. I look at him going up against Baltimore. Baltimore is a defense that they take pride in what they do. Last week, losing that game, getting beat by the Cleveland Browns is something that's going to really stick with this defense and this team, and I can't see Frank Gore getting off. And my surprise guy, my sleeper, Eli Manning. 2 weeks in a row, we've seen Eli have pretty good games and do some remarkable things with the guys that are around him, and going up against a Jet defense that I didn't think Buffalo could put up points on anybody, and they found a way to beat the Jets.
All right, Marshall, thanks for laying out the game plan for week 5. And as always, we want to thank BodogFantasy.net.